kindergarten. We're learning about the desert this week, so I have a book just called Seek and Slide in the Desert. It's going to show us different places where there are deserts and lots of different animals you'll see in the desert. And this is published by Backpack Books in 2005. So that was before you were born. All right. 15 years ago, as a matter of fact. Hey, that's when Bray was born. All right, guys, so this is in the desert. Oh, before we begin, let me show you the map of the deserts. We'll be doing this later this week, but I want to show it to you now. So if you look up the map key, it says deserts are all the polka dots, and you'll be coloring those in yellow later. But there are deserts on all 7 continents, okay? So I want us to look at those as we're singing the 7 continents song and check out the polka dots on all 7 continents. Those are where the deserts are. And the deserts, you'll start to notice, are most of them are along the equator here in the middle of the earth where the sun hits the most, especially the hot deserts. There are some cold deserts towards the Arctic and even in the Antarctic. Because to be a desert, it has to get less than 10 inches of rain in a year. That's about 10 inches. And in the Antarctic, they get less than 10 inches of rain. It doesn't rain there, it snows. They've got tons of ice, but it does not rain. So that's why the Antarctic is considered a cold desert. Okay, so let's do our 7 continents. Ready? 7 continents, 7 continents. Be watching for deserts. North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, and Antarctica. Brr. 7 continents, 7 continents. And that's where all of the deserts are. So we'll find more in here and then I'll bring the map back. All right, deserts are places with little rain and few plants. The stony deserts of North America are hot and dry. Can you find these animals in the stony desert? So we've got a rattlesnake. Be looking for one of those. You see it? We've got a coyote. Some people call them coyotes. We actually get some of those in Colorado. We've got a jackrabbit. Can you see it? Somewhere over here. And a roadrunner. They used to have cartoons about roadrunners, but they are real animals. All right, so in North America, you'll see the Mojave Desert and the Sonoran Desert. And Colorado is actually quite close to a desert. All right, California and Arizona is where you will see those deserts. Let's continue. The largest desert in the world is the Sahara or Sahara. I always say it different ways. It's in Africa, in the north part of Africa. It's hot, dry, and sandy. Most deserts we think of full of sand. Well, the Sahara Desert is definitely full of sand and camels. So let's look over here. Here's Africa. And in the north part of Africa, north, south, right, is the Sahara Desert. It takes up a whole big chunk of the top part of Africa. Let's see what animals you'd see in this desert. A mongoose, be looking for that. Geckos, which you also see in other hot places like in Hawaii. A gazelle, and a jackal. So be looking for those on the page. Kind of easy to spot, aren't they? And you see a one-humped camel. The one hump is called the dromedary, and that's in the hot deserts. That's where you see the ones with one hump. All right, let's move on. Not all deserts are hot. The Gobi Desert in Asia is bitterly cold at night and in the winter. So let's take a quick peek at our map again. Over here in Asia, the Gobi Desert, it's way up towards the Arctic, kind of up in the northern part where it gets colder up here. So that's the Gobi Desert. And you'll notice in the Gobi Desert, there's a camel with 2 humps. That's called the Bactrian. I think of the bee because a bee has two humps, a big bee, and a Bactrian has two humps. A dromedary only has one hump, and a D only has one hump when you look at a big D. So that's how I remember. So the Bactrian camel is in the cold desert, and he's got a lot of very thick fur, lots more warmth on him. There's the golden eagle, the ibex, and there's an ox. Looks like one of those musk ox that we also see in the Arctic. So look for all of those real quick. Okay. The large desert in Australia is called the outback, and it's home to many hardy animals. All right, let's take a peek at our map, guys. So down here in Australia, the whole center of Australia is called the outback, and that's all a desert. Most of the people that live in Australia live all along the coast by the ocean there. But the whole inside of it, the interior part, is desert and outback with lots of cool animals. Let's see what they have there. They have a kookaburra. They have an emu. They have kangaroos in there, and they have dingoes. Those are wild dogs. So look for some of those on the page. And that's the end of Seek and Slide in the Desert. And if you look on this paper, we saw some of these animals. We saw, I don't know if we saw this kind. It's called an oryx. Oryx? I'll have to check out how to say that. There's a saguaro cactus. We'll learn more about that. They grow to be very tall and very old. There's a Gila monster. It looks like Gila monster, but you say Gila monster. Those are kind of neat. They're not really monsters. There's the emu. There's the camel. Oh, one hump. What's that one called? Dromedary. He actually belongs over here in the warm desert, doesn't he? And then there's a little kind of mousy creature called the jerboa. So there are some other animals you'll see in the deserts on all 7 continents in the world. You won't see them down here in Antarctica. Way too cold for that. Those penguins live down there on that desert. All right, guys. Talk to you later.